morning, Your Majesties. Happy Friday. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. So I saved the best story for Friday, and this is called My Ouija Board Experience. Okay, and it goes. So this all starts like when I was 14 or 15. I've always been interested in spirits, and I always watched shows and documentaries about them. But what I got myself involved in was way more than just a spirit. I have an older sister and an older brother who are also very interested in the spirit world and how dimensions work and such. I guess they got too curious because one day they came home with an Ouija board. Do not use one under any circumstances. Prior to this, or even any interest in spirits, we had known that my house had lots of them in it. Doors will close, toys go off the basement, and the eeriest place. Oh, doors were closed, toys go off. The basement is the eeriest place ever. Jeez. There's this big hole in the wall of my basement that's actually a crawl space. My house is very old, so we're not sure why that's there. But we found a lot of belongings down there that aren't ours. Oh boy. One time my dad found a ball in the TV room. So he rolled the ball out to the playroom and it came bouncing back. What? You'll be walking and hear someone whisper your name directly in your ear. Things will go missing and show up in the most obvious spot where there's no way it could have been. It's obvious there's spirits here. Anyway, so John and Jade were about 19, 20 at the time, and they invited me to do the board with them. I was scared, but I said I would. At first, it was nothing, but then it moved a little bit. It was obvious. It took a lot of effort for it. We would move the board into different rooms of the house and contact different people. In my siblings' room, we contacted a little boy. It was really hard for him to move the planchette, and we weren't sure why he spelled out tar. Tar. And then made the planchette point toward me. What? We had thought it was weird because every other time we played and I was there, the spirit would say tar. When we asked why it was so hard for them to move the planchette, so we tried to go into more depth, but it was just too hard for him to move it. So we said goodbye. First mistake, we moved it to goodbye. He did not. After that, every time we used the board, it was him and a woman. They said they followed and protected me everywhere I went. And although it was a bad feeling, I was happy because I've always felt nobody cares about me. Mistake number 2. I invited them into my life, basically told them they can continue following me. Wait, what? Now, when you're using an Ouija board, you never know for sure who you're speaking to. Exactly. I've heard lots of stories about it, so yes. If it's malevolent, it will lie and trick you, and the purpose is to deceive. It's what they do best. I was certainly deceived. We kept using the board, but it only got weirder. The spirit began telling me to never use one again and to get off right this second. But she wouldn't say goodbye. She wanted me to leave, but she just wanted me to leave, but she just wanted me to take my fingers off. Never take your fingers off without saying goodbye. Every day she would remind me. We became addicted to the board, and it was basically all we thought about. I can't wait to get home so we can use the board. We were in a trap, and we were addicted to it. We used the Ouija board a lot, and a ton of stuff happened. I'm just trying to give the basic storyline that leads up to this one event. We took the board into our backyard where they said there were hundreds of spirits dying dying to get their hands on the planchette to tell their story. We talked to one girl who said victim she was victim of a recent apartment fire. My sister asked her to prove her strength. Mistake number 3, never test the spirit. I mean, come on, guys. Stuff started falling off the porch. At this point, you think we're terrified, right? Nope. We thought it was amazing. It was like it's like we were so addicted, and we completely ignored the fact that these ghosts and possibly even malevolent creatures were and wait we completely ignored the fact that these are ghosts and possibly even malevolent creatures we were inviting into our home. But we kept playing the board, and still every time I was told not to play. Sometimes it wouldn't even work with me in the room. One evening we were playing in the kitchen. It One evening we were playing in the kitchen. It was very, very hard for the spirit to move the planchette. It was the woman who is attached to me. She told me to completely erase Ouija boards from my life, to never research and to never use one again. We kept asking her questions, and she was getting mad, telling me to stop playing. And then from my right arm, I'm tugged into the wall, trying to keep my fingers on the planchette for the life of me, and scratches appear on my arm. We quickly said goodbye, and right there, I said I was never touching one again. A few days later, I walked down to tutoring a mile away from my house. I got into the building, and I finished my schoolwork, so I began to look up Ouija boards to see if anyone had experienced anything similar and how to make it stop. Oh, girl. I couldn't sleep at night. I always felt something watching all the time in my room, the kitchen, the TV room, even the bedroom. At night, I would just I would be just about to fall asleep. This horrible face would pop up right in front of mine, and I'd be awake. I was being sleep deprived. I was doing online school, slept when I was supposed to be working. It got so bad, I got physically sick from it. Anyway, I'm at my tutoring office, and I began to look up stores to see if it ever stops. And the second I click on the one I think I'm going to relate to, scratch marks appear all over my neck, my cheek, my arms. My friend looked over terrified and asked what happened, with actual fear in her eyes. But I calmly got up and said allergic reaction, closed the laptop and walked home. I had no safe spots anymore, none left. I still don't know how to get rid of them. I always feel something watching or something on me, and I don't know how to make it stop. I've ignored it for a long time, and no big things have happened. But I know they're still watching me. I haven't touched an Ouija board since, and I never plan to ever again. Please, if you're reading this, they are not to connect with loved ones. It is purely evil, bad, or malevolent spirits, nothing else. The feeling never stops. I feel like something is watching me now. I'm not even supposed to talk about this, but I wanted to tell the story for others considering using a board. Never do. It's so much more than just a game. Well, I mean, that's the end of that story. Yeah, it is. It's not. It's not just a game. It's not, because I've heard experiences on YouTube. It's not just a game. It's, stuff happens. So, we got to be careful with these things, like playing these paranormal games, playing with an Ouija board. You got to be careful. We can't be messing around with that kind of stuff. It is intriguing and it does sound fun, but, you just got to be careful. So, that's going to be it for today's video. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Princess Peyton. Hit the red button to become your majesty and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I love you guys so much. You guys are the best human beings ever made. And you're the king of my heart in the song lyrics of Taylor Swift. And I will see you guys on Monday's video in the same outfit. Okay, love you guys. Bye and stay spooky. Bye. Mwah.